All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Healing Doesn't Have to Be Heavy podcast. I'm your host, Angie Berrett, and I'm so excited to have you with us today. I am a trauma informed coach, a play expert, a registered nurse, and I'm also a child abuse survivor. As I was on my journey healing from child abuse, I felt like things were just so heavy, and I was in this pit of despair and just slogging through mud. I didn't see much hope, much lightness, and I felt incredibly alone. And now that I'm where I am, I get to help women use movement and play to connect to their bodies, releasing limiting self beliefs, stress, anxiety, tension, depression, and trauma, bringing more joy and fun into their lives. And this podcast is a way to bring experts who have been through their own life struggles, who have amazing resources to you on your journey to hopefully help give you some sort of hope, of inspiration, and maybe even help you find that resource that you're looking for to help you as you're on your journey to heal. And today's guest is no exception. I'm so excited for you to meet her. But before I introduce her to you, I just want to give a trigger warning. We are going to be talking about mental health struggles. We're going to be talking about healing from trauma. And so if you find yourself getting triggered, getting emotionally itchy, anything like that, definitely step away, ground down, do what you need to do, come back to yourself. And then I really invite you to come back and listen to the rest of the episode because our guest today is amazing, has some incredible stuff that she does. And I cannot wait for you to meet her. And so stick around till the end because I have a free gift for you that I'll tell you about. And we'll tell you more about our guest and how you can get in touch with her and the amazing things that she has coming up because she has some incredible stuff. So, without any further ado, let me introduce you to Isabella Stoloff. Isabella, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
Thank you for having me, Angie. It's so fun to do podcasts and I really, I had a podcast for a while and I don't know that maybe once or twice I did a trigger warning, but really if there are kids around, turn it off
Yes.
because
Yes.
this is not child appropriate conversation because I don't know what I might say that might be triggering or that, from my healing journey that definitely children should not hear. So,
And these are listed
yeah.
as explicit, so definitely, children should not be around and take care of yourself as we go through this. So,
Yeah, yeah, your
yeah,
inner child as well.
absolutely. So, Isabella, tell us about you. Who are you?
I am well, it's interesting because I'm in this transition from the owner of the Orange County Healing Center, which used to be the Orange County Healing Center.com, and then into shamanisabella.com. And now I'm moving into, because I've been saying, why can't I just be Isabella Stoloff, a magical, divine, magical creature, an empowered woman in the universe without any title? Why do I
Mhm.
have to be the Orange County Healing Center? Why do I have to be Shaman Isabella? Can't I just be myself? So, not that I wasn't myself doing all those things, obviously I was. But it's just interesting and you with your play and it's reminding me of even before, my healing journey began really in 1991 when I released a lot of trauma. And if you go to my YouTube, Isabella Stoloff, or you go to my website, shamanisabella.com, you can read all about all that trauma because there was a lot of it. There was,
Yeah.
20 years of crazy. But in 1991, I began my healing journey and theater and getting my master's degree. Well, actually, even I had a fifth grade education. So even just getting any kind of education. So I went back to school after getting my life together, raising my children and got custody of my other kids back. I, got an associate's degree, then I got a bachelor's degree, then I got a master's degree. And in my master's degree program, there was a woman that taught something from a woman, and you may know this name, Gabrielle Roth. Have you
I
ever heard
do.
of Roth? So the five rhythms, right?
Hmm.
So I developed through those classes a healing movement, which is where I started. So it was called Healing Through Movement. And you went through the five rhythms of Gabrielle Roth's five rhythms, which is lyrical. Gosh, I wonder if I can remember. It's been 30 years. Lyrical, chaos, lyrical chaos. Ah, gosh, I used to know them off the top of my head, but I can't. Flow. Okay, where there we go. Flow, lyrical, chaos, uh one more in stillness. But so anyway, look up Gabrielle Ross Five Rhythms, and it's interesting how your mind is not as well. I'll be 65 this year. My mind is very, very sharp. But it's like that being able to heal through movement. And I remember being in the acting class, and I was older than everyone. I was like 37, 38. And these are kids, right?
Yeah.
Right, they're like in their 20s. And I'd already had so much trauma, and I could feel the trauma coming off my body when I was going through these different movements. And I felt bad because I'm an empath for the kids in the room. And I remember going to the teacher and saying, God, it's gonna make me cry. I remember going to the teacher and saying, I really don't think I should be in this class because I have a lot of toxic energy coming off me I don't even know anything about, but I don't want these kids
Yeah.
absorbing what it is I'm releasing. And she had the kids, she used to have like the room almost dark with little Christmas lights around it over here at Cal State Fullerton. Her name was Lynn Wood. She was like my first bright light of healing. I mean, she was amazing. She's probably still alive, but that she brought the kids in a circle and she had all of them talk to me and tell me it was okay and that I should continue releasing. And my theater, my acting really grew after not being, after releasing that and not being
Yeah.
so afraid to release through your body. And then coming into the shamanism, knowing that now I say everything that's ever happened to you creates a memory imprint on your light
Mhm.
body.
Yes.
Have this physical body, but you also have this energy body. And yeah, so it's just interesting how you're coming at a time in my life where I'm not releasing who I am, but I am incorporating more of who I was.
Transitioning into a different phase in your life.
Yeah.
I love that. And you said something really interesting, and it's something that I have struggled with, and I know a lot of people struggle with too, is that you didn't want to release what you felt was this toxic energy to people around you. So you were feeling like you needed to hold it in to protect other people. That's something that I've struggled with. I haven't wanted to release it. I do so much by myself because I don't want to put the darkness that I feel like I carry from my child abuse onto others. And I know that that's something that a lot of people say, and I hear that from a lot of people. So if that's resonating with you, just know that that's entirely
Normal.
normal to be
Yeah.
afraid to put that toxicity or what you fear, the darkness on other people, and others who care about you can handle it. Find a safe space where you can release it
Well,
because,
yeah, it's about finding that safe space or that
yeah,
healer that works for you. And, there are a lot of people to choose from nowadays.
yeah,
Started back in 2009, I first of all, I took my shaman training I had my first healing in 2006. I wanted to know more about it. I took it in 2007 and was in it for 3 years, but I wasn't doing it to become a shaman. I didn't even know what a shaman was. Literally had to look it up because from the very beginning in 2009, I started getting calls 2010 for podcasts, little TV bits, like the universe wanted me to speak. And I'm like, I'm speaking on something that I'm just learning, but it resonated with me so deeply. And like I say, I didn't do it to become a healer. I
yeah.
did it because I believed in this bag of rocks that I
Hmm.
was making into a mesa bag. I believed that everything was breath and intention. I believed that when I blew into the rock, I was releasing the energy. I believed that I could illuminate the person's chakra because I know there's light that comes out of the palm of your hands. My mom was very psychic, but she was raised, she's born in 1920, so she didn't really have anyone she could talk to about it. She
Yeah.
was from England, and so we talked about fairies and past lives. And, so I was raised in this very eclectic astrological way. And so none of it was foreign to me, but I didn't really have a base for it. Like I believed in everyone's religion. I believed that there was God everywhere. I believed
Hmm.
God was in the trees, and that was my God was the universe and the wind and the earth, Mother Earth. Um, and so it wasn't so foreign to me to do this, but the idea of becoming a shaman, whatever that was, and like I had to look it up, and I looked up what was a shaman, and it's a conduit between the physical world and spiritual world. That's it. Now, of course, you can become a plant medicine shaman. You can be and to be the blonde Orange County shaman from Hollywood is, you would think it's ridiculous. And, with the whole cultural appropriation and all of
Yeah.
that. And I didn't fight against it, but I really said, first of all, we are our ancestors. I am a Russian Jew, 49% Ashkenazi Russian Jew. I know that there's some Mongolian in there. I know that my mother's people had wisdom and magic from Stonehenge and
Hmm.
England. And we all have it from wherever it is. I believe that we all have a healing, a healing gene, that we
Yes.
can heal our own bodies, that we can heal ourselves. And so whatever it is you want to call yourself, as long as you're coming from a good place, I always say highest and best good, no harm to anyone.
Hmm.
Have to come from that place. And you were talking about, how do you feel like you don't want to throw your toxicity onto other people or become a healer because you might bleed onto them.
Yes.
As long as you're holding your divine line strong and you're doing your inner work, that won't happen. As long as you hold your divine line strong and do your inner work, it won't happen. And find a therapist or a healer or someone that you feel you can go to and begin to release this energy.
Absolutely. You just talked about so many things that I have so many questions for you. I was going to ask, what's a shaman for people who don't know? And you already answered that question. It's a bridge between the physical and the metaphysical
Uh,
world. So how did you first get into even studying shamanism? You said you did your first session. How did you even
well,
decide that that
yeah,
was
and
your calling?
that is a story in and of itself. But my mom had dementia, and I was in Idaho getting my master's degree, and my sister had her here in a home in Ventura, and was taking care of her, and she was coming to me etherically. So she'd come in my dreams. She'd just show up, and she would say, "Get me out of here." And I say, how can I get you out of there? I can't get myself out of here. I need to break up with the guy that I'm married to now, which is
Yeah.
so funny. That's a whole other story. Needed to break up with him, needed to, only because he couldn't say, I love you. It wasn't like he was a bad guy. He was a great guy because they never say, I love you. That's a whole other show. And so I was like, I'm leaving again. And so I needed, my daughter wanted to go back to high school here in Fullerton, California. And I'd been in Idaho for 5 years, and I said I'd only be there for 2 years to get my master's degree. So I was really feeling stuck in
Hmm.
my own life. I needed two knee surgeries, a liver biopsy. I mean, there was just like I almost died from a liver biopsy I had there. There was a lot going on in 2006, and my mom was coming to me. And so I had this over the phone healing with a shaman in Chile. And within a month, my mom transitioned.
Wow.
And I had been, on top of that, carrying a dead husband around in my energetic field. I was a battered wife, a teen mom. Like I said, you can go drug addict in prison. I have crazy, crazy, crazy story. You can go back and listen to other podcasts. And when he died of cancer of the colon. He came into my energetic field. I didn't understand that language, and I just thought I'd have to. Went to a psychic once, and she said, "Who's the dead guy with you?" And I was like, "Oh, that'd be my dead husband. I can't shake him. I can't get rid of him." And I just was going to live with him.
Yeah.
Like I cancel. I didn't know, right? And I had this liver biopsy, almost died. We recreate trauma. This is something we
Yes.
recreate trauma until we learn the lesson and can release the energy. And that's what was happening. I had recreated his trauma in my own body, and she extracted him from me. And that's how come I know extractions like that are real, you know. Um, I don't do those type of extractions anymore. I send, people have to find someone else for that type of work, but it's intense and it's real. And so it completely changed my life. You know, those two healings completely changed my life. I moved back to California and I started studying with Alberto Villoldo and the Four Winds Society. And, you know, it wasn't to become a shaman. It was
Yeah.
to have this sense of spirituality, to connect with the divine, to trust my intuition more. What it did more than anything for me was made me trust myself.
Mm-hmm.
I did not, even through all the years of school, getting my custody of my kids back, staying clean, you know, not ever having to go to prison again, all the beauty that had happened. And my mom would say, I'm so proud of you. And I go, why would you be proud of me for doing something I should have been doing all along?
Yeah.
Could not accept what I had become. I couldn't accept the beauty of myself. You know, I just kept giving my power away, kept giving my power away, kept not trusting myself. I was moving along, I was
Yeah.
succeeding, but I was still very, very stuck in the trauma. And it was only energy medicine that got me out of it.
Wow, that I think is so common for so many. I mostly work with women, so I'm gonna definitely tailor this towards women. But so many women, we have such a hard time trusting ourselves because it is something that we continue to struggle with. What would you say to somebody who is just starting out on learning about energetic bodies and what are things that people would look for to know, are they even carrying someone else's energy with them? What would going to see somebody who does do energy work do for them? Someone who's just starting out, what would you recommend?
Excuse me, just coming off a cold. Um, if you are constantly stuck in the same energetic cycle, meaning the same type of thing is happening over and over again. If you are feeling like there's a block,
Hmm.
like there's something in your way from succeeding, if you cannot get out of your negative mind, if you are unable to shift your consciousness, if you're still feeling guilty or shameful of something that happened to you as a child that was not your fault, but you still see it as your fault. If, I mean, there's so many. If you know, keep going back to the same scenario in your head over and over and over and over and over,
Mm.
and it's like a broken record. These are clear signs that energy medicine can help you. These are clear, clear, clear signs. My mind could not get unstuck. And
Yeah.
I saw in a church, which I had a really hard time going into a church. For whatever my past lives were, churches were not for me. But I went into this church when my daughter was young, and it said, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind."
Oh,
That statement, I don't know if it's in the Bible. It's probably in the Bible. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I thought to myself, that's it. That's the key. That's the key. How can I transform my mind to better serve me? So that's the nugget. If anybody
mhm.
takes away anything today, take away that I am the only one. You can go to every therapist in the world. You can listen to all these podcasts. You can come see me. You can come see Angie. You can go see someone else. You can do spiritual travel, which is what I do. I take people around the world, and we're going to go to Peru this year. You can do all these things, but if you don't fix your mind yourself, none of it will work. Don't waste your money.
Yep.
Start with your mind. Start with listening to yourself as if you're your own best friend. You could sit and meditate for hours and still beat yourself up.
Hmm.
It's doing nothing. You are stuck in an old program. It's called a program. Your mind is like a computer. Think of your mind as a computer. Whatever I put into it, I'm going to get out of it. Again, think of your mind as a computer. Whatever I put into it, I'm going to get out of it. So, what do I want to put in my mind? Now, it's easier to create a negative thought than it is a positive one. Why? I don't know, but it is.
But it is. It totally is.
So, so, so learn that about yourself. This isn't you. This isn't you. That's not your spirit. That's not who you are. That's your mind. And your mind is completely separate. It's separate from who you are as a spiritual being, who you are as an energetic being, who you are as a being on the planet is not the mind. Try to grasp that concept and then go, okay, who I am as an energetic being on the planet, who I am as a transformative goddess, whatever it is you want to call yourself. How do I fix my head? What do I tell myself instead? So you become the observer and you watch it. You watch your thoughts and you're like, well, that thought doesn't serve me. That thought doesn't serve me. And that thought doesn't serve me. So why am I thinking it? Well, because I've been programmed to think it. Because this happened to me and that happened to me and this happened to me and that happened to me. And all of that creates a low vibration. And all of that goes into your physical body. And then your body manifests all that over and over and over and over. That's the condensed simple version. If you can grasp that thought, create space between that thought and go, what do I want instead? And blow, because I'm a big, still with the breath.
Yeah.
Angels and guides take that energy, clear every single chakra. Angels and guides take that energy, clear every single chakra. What do I want instead? Now I have a white palette. I have a new whiteboard. I have a new canvas to paint my life on. What do I want? Well, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I could have anything, if I had all the money in the world and I could do anything I wanted. I don't know what it is. Okay, but you do know how you want to feel. How do you want to
See,
feel?
I'm going to say some of the people that I work with, and I'm going to include myself on that. I don't, for a long time, I didn't even know how I wanted to feel because all I had known was the pain that I was in.
Oh,
And so there was real fear and resistance that came up when I started working to change that mindset because I thought, oh my gosh, I don't even know, I mean, the expression, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. So the idea of having something other to have this clean whiteboard slate was very uncomfortable. And so I do also want to say if you're feeling resistance, even as Isabella's talking, if you're feeling resistance coming up, being like, oh my gosh, no, no,
I
I
don't
don't
know how to
get that.
feel.
No, I don't know. I can't do that. That's not for me. She's talking to other people. That's normal when you're really starting to change these patterns and when you're really digging into this deep programming to shift it and change it. Resistance is going to come up because your body has produced all these protective mechanisms to do what it's doing, it thinks to keep you safe. So
Right,
you may
right.
not know.
And it goes radar, 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 shut down, shut down, shut down, beep, 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 warning,
Danger,
warning.
danger, run,
Yeah,
run.
yeah,
Yeah.
Danger Bill Robinson. Oh, I'm aging myself. No, but it's true. And so then you go, well, I would like to be happy.
Yeah.
I'd like to feel connected. I'd like to feel happy. Okay, okay, I can imprint happy. Well, then what color would happy be to me?
Mm,
Maybe yellow, maybe pink. What is a happy color? Maybe blue, maybe red. I mean, it depends on what
yeah.
your happy color is, right? And so then just begin to paint your life slowly. Give yourself time. It took me years. I've been doing this for 30 years. 30 years in this energetic way with very much clarity and trust in myself for what, 16 years. But it takes time, you guys. It's
Yeah.
not like, you know, oh, I healed, I took a shamanic weekend and I'm good. No, no, I'm sorry, it doesn't
No,
work that way. It's forever. It's this forever. And why not? Because healing doesn't have to be heavy.
no. It can be colorful and it can be, I love that you talk about what color are emotions. What does happy mean for you? You may not be able to describe what it feels like, but what color is it? By starting to ask those questions, it starts to shift you out of the negative thinking mindset, that lower vibration that Isabella was talking about earlier, into a higher vibration where you can start to open up and see what possibility it has.
It also, it's like it gives the mind something else to think about. The
Yes.
mind is a computer. It just wants to think.
Yes.
It will think about whatever you tell it to think about. And here's another great tip. If your mind can't stop running, touch your ear.
Just
Just
touch your ear. Okay.
can't think and touch your ear. Now, I was talking with 80 people, and one guy in the back of the room goes, I can. Okay, well, of course you can if you make yourself.
Right.
The whole point is trying not to. It's not trying to negate what I'm teaching, but okay, go ahead. Don't let it work for you. I don't care. It works for me. I touch my ear, and my head goes, what's she doing?
That's exactly what my brain did. My brain started thinking, why is she touching her ear?
Yeah,
What does that feel like?
right. Exactly. Okay, everybody in the audience right now, touch your ear. Take a
Yes.
breath, take a minute. I literally can't think. And if I have space, because I'm a Gemini and I'm thinking all the time, if I have space in between my head, just that much space, I can zoom in. I want to feel abundant. I want to feel
Mhm.
good about myself. I want to trust myself more. And the more you tell yourself that, the more you feed yourself beautiful thoughts, perfect segue to this, the more beautiful thoughts you'll feel and the better your life will become. My daughter and I developed this deck of cards because my clients were saying, I wish I could take you home with me. I wish I could put you in my pocket. I wish I could blah, blah, blah. And I love the box. I love the cards. So for those of you just listening, I am showing a box of oracle cards called the Good Vibes Positive Affirmation Deck. They are gorgeous. My daughter did all the graphic design work.
They're beautiful, they're colorful, they're vibrant.
We're going to pull one for the group. You can go to shamanisabella.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and pull a card for yourself.
And we'll drop that link in the show notes for those of you that didn't catch that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you can pull a card, shuffle the deck and pull a card, or you can order your own. When you live from an authentic place, anything is possible.
Ah,
And it has a little booklet that goes with it, which I'm not going to read from today, but just think about that. When you live from an authentic place, how do I live? How do I take off the mask and just start to be me and not be so
and
afraid?
and with trauma, we're taught that we have to put on masks in order to be safe, in order to live in this world, to navigate it. And so often those masks don't actually really align with who we are authentically. And so learning to take those masks off, learning to trust in yourself, find that sense of safety so that you can feel this authentic living is so powerful.
I was just thinking, I've never had this thought before, but because the children nowadays are being raised in a different vibe, with
Very.
different parents. I wonder if child abuse will be less.
I hope so.
I know, me too. Me too. Because I've been watching these TikToks where the parents have the kid in the car and they'll say, finish this sentence. Children are meant to be seen and then the kid will go, and loved. And not,
Uh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And they'll give
Yeah.
all I brought you in this world, I can take care of you. It's like, so
Wow.
our minds will go into children should be seen and not heard, or,
Yeah.
yeah. And what's the other one that I brought you in this world, I'll take you
I
out.
can take you out. Yeah.
All that stuff that we were raised with. The kids today, so my prayer
Mhm.
is that it's less. It's
That's
definitely less.
that's beautiful. I love that. And I love that you brought those two expressions up because those are ones that I find when I work with clients, those are negative beliefs that are carried so deep they don't even realize it. That children should be seen and not heard. So that we internalize that as children, meaning I don't get a voice. And so how often, how many people have you heard, have you worked with, this is a rhetorical question,
Yeah.
how many of us have felt I don't get to have a voice? And so much of that relates back to this children should be seen and not heard. And a lot of these sayings that we had growing up,
Well, and especially women, right?
especially women. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Isabella, talk to us about the healing retreats that you do. What even is that for somebody who's never heard of that? And I am so excited to hear about your one in Peru because for anybody listening, that is on my bucket list to do a healing retreat in Peru. So
Oh, welcome.
I guess.
October 2nd through the 10th, I will be doing my first women only. So I've always included men. Since 2009, when I started taking people to Peru for the first time, because I was feeling I was there to balance the masculine and feminine energies within us all. We all possess masculine and feminine qualities. We just need to learn how, I don't like the word need, cancel, cancel. We
We
just
get to.
could all learn, begin to balance those masculine and feminine energies within. And I have taken people now to England, to Greece, to Egypt, to Bali, mostly Peru. I leave for Italy tomorrow.
Mhm.
Very, very grateful for my life. Like, if you had told me this would be my life when I was sitting in a prison cell, pregnant, thinking, what if this baby could change my life? I would never in a million years have imagined the beauty that the universe has bestowed upon me. Never in a million years. And so when you go on a healing retreat, we go to sacred sites, we do ceremony. Um, some people want plant medicine, some people don't want plant medicine. So I have a alternative thing for people that don't want to drink plant medicine. But for the people that are interested in that, there's a safe and sacred container in which to do that in the mountains of Peru. And it again, it's where my medicine comes from. So I feel freer to be my full self in doing blessings for the earth. And in Egypt, I was very careful, very, very like it was. It's not a country where I'd be shaking my rattle and waving my hands around,
Yes.
I was very, very respectful. And no, I mean, I'm very respectful everywhere, but the energy in Egypt it was very different. My father was raised in Egypt. My grandparents, my babushka and dedushka came from Tashkent into Egypt in 1913 when the Tsar was taking over Russia. And so my father made his first film. He was a film director. He made his first film in a place called Siwa, which is outside of Cairo. And I've never been, and I'd love to go. And so I had a lot of family history, and what happened was 2020 happened when I was supposed to do
Yeah.
that. So the world shut down, and we didn't get to go until 2022, but that gave more people time, and I ended up with 17 people on that.
Wow.
So it was we took a boat down the River Nile, a cruise down the River Nile, and I have to say my favorite place there was the Temple of Isis. And I know that the Temple of Isis has been moved, so it's not the actual land, but the energy there was. I mean, we were pulling up in the boat, and my seventh chakra was just ringing. And that was the one place where I was able to do ceremony and install medicine rites for people. And yeah, I just love it. I think that we all could use a bit uh, of connection, of the connection to ourselves, to trust ourselves, our earth, our planet, the universe, the stars, and it's a deeply, deeply connective experience. I also created a online course
Mm.
called Awaken the Creator Within. And the universe had been asking me to create an online course for years, but I'm always moving so fast. Going
Yes.
to the next thing, I used to have lots of ceremonies here. The Orange County Healing Center is my home. So before 2020, I was doing all the full moon ceremonies, and I was having classes here. I just go, 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 seeing clients. And so 2019, the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, I created Awaken the Creator Within. And I did it live on a Zoom, and then the world shut down.
Yeah.
And I got back with my ex of 30 years, us trying to get it right, trying to get it right. Finally, he could say, I love you. So finally, I said, okay, I'll marry you. And we're happier than we've ever been, and it's amazing. And so I did that course, but I sort of put it on a shelf,
Hmm.
really flush it out and get it out there. And now it's on the website, shamanisabella.com. It's on Mighty Network, which is a platform. So it has a workbook. All the meditations and shamanic journeys are separated. So you don't have to go back through the whole hour. If you want to rewatch something, you have access to it. And also on there are other free meditations and free articles. Um, and I'll go live. So I'm learning about this new platform and being able to travel and have my finger still. I mean, they make it so easy now. I feel like
Yes.
we're doing ceremonies here and going on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's so many old videos of me trying, struggling, making the video and trying to do it. And I remember one time I said, one day I'll be able to just talk right to you.
Mhm.
One day I'll be able to just, this will just go right into your home, and it does.
It, it's amazing. I want to come back. One of the things you talked when we were talking about your travel healing trips, one of the things for me that was a light on my journey was traveling, still is. I mean, it is. For me, when things got really dark and really heavy, I just needed something different than my normal environment. And so to go, I've traveled so many places. I've been very lucky. And I know that many people don't have the same financial resources and can't go travel the world, can't go to Peru or whatever. But even just to step outside of your little bubble of your routine can break up the monotony and give you a different perspective than in order to help you find that objective observer to step back and look at your thoughts. Because when we're in our same pattern, our same routine, our same streets that we drive every single day, or whatever it is that we're doing, it's really hard to break out of that. And so for me, travel has been one of the ways that I get to look at things differently. I get to experience life from different people's
Sure.
perspectives. And so I love that you take people on these healing journeys. And if you can't afford that, okay, great. Go take a different route to work, walk a different path
I was
than you
going to
normally
say that
do.
I took a class once where the guy said, take a different route. Just
Yeah.
walk a different path. Get in
It,
your car and go a different way.
so little things like that can give you some of that space where things don't have to feel so heavy, so monotonous, so routine. And I love that. And if you can, go something big, do something big, like go to Peru or some other sacred journey.
What
My
I've
most sacred,
learned, what I've learned about that with the money is that because I have struggled financially, I have cancel in the past, touch wood, that's all over.
right.
In the past. So watch the way you speak. One of the cards says your words or spells, your thoughts or things.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I say something that I do not want, I'll say cancel. What do I want instead? So, and then I'll go, well, in the past, I struggled financially. No longer, you know. So, and then I'll go, if I feel it's come on me and globbed onto me, oh, you struggled? Guess what? Ah, like, nope, I don't struggle anymore.
For
Um,
those of you not watching the video, she blew it away.
yeah,
She
I
blew it away.
made a fist and blew it out to my angels and guides. But once you pay for something you really, really want to do, I would say, okay, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to make it happen. And the money would always show up. I don't know how. Again, highest and best good, no harm to anyone, but I don't know how. But a check would show up in the mail. Something would always happen. There is magic out there for you. We just haven't learned how to tap into it yet. And I do offer discounts, and you can call me. Um, it's really not that expensive. And what I'm also trying to do is get one of those things where people can pay in installments, They have those new Affirm and
Yeah.
and things like that where people can do it. There are ways. If there's something that's in your heart and you really, really want to do it, the universe will provide. I I've done it time and time again. I definitely didn't think I could pay for those shaman classes.
And that's where we kind of started talking, is when you believe it, when you change that mindset, things are going to happen that amaze you. And if you continue to believe that you are stuck in that negative pattern, it's not going to happen. So changing your mindset is such a big part of healing and
Well,
allowing space for that.
you'll see people. I have a TikTok. You can find me, Shaman Isabella on TikTok or Isabella Stoloff. I don't know which one. I think it's Shaman Isabella, and Instagram and Facebook and all of that.
And we'll drop all those links in the show notes so you
But
can
the
connect with her.
TikTok people will, go in those comments and say, I've tried, I can't. So if you're out there going, I've been working at it, I can't do it, I can't do it, you can. You can. You have to be really, really dig deep, maybe go see someone and get the energy moved that's in your way and say, even though in the past it hasn't shown up the way I want, I trust and believe it can and it will. That's it. That's your mantra. Even though it hasn't shown up in the past, I trust and believe that it can and it will. Because I'm telling you now, if you had seen me at 31 years old, pregnant in this horrible prison cell, once again, you would not have seen who you see today.
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't even think I could, get off the drugs. And it was only because I was pregnant and said, you know, I'm not going to use while pregnant. And, if I can't do this, I will give her up for adoption. I
Yeah.
couldn't have an abortion in prison.
Right.
I would have. I would not have taken a child through that again because I had two children. I was married to the heroin dealer. I mean, it was a chaotic teenage life that I put myself through. And now, of course, I have to forgive myself and say, you were a kid. Like my older kids, I have a 48-year-old and a 40, almost 7-year-old, 47-year-old, 46 and 48. And they say to me, Mom, you were a kid.
Yeah.
You were 14. You were a kid. He was, it was, and I'm like, oh God, I still can't, yeah, he was 34 and I was 14, but I was pretty sassy for a 14-year-old, but still I was a child, right? I was a child and he should have said no.
Absolutely. He should have said no. And isn't it funny how when we're kids or when we're teenagers, we think we know so much and yet
Oh
we
God.
know so little because our brains are just not developed yet. And so, yeah, what a challenging time. And so if you are having a hard time forgiving yourself because of things that happened when you were a child, give yourself some grace because your brain's not fully formed. None of us are. We all make mistakes. We all make
And know that you're not alone. I'm
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
alone.
So, Isabella, I could talk for hours, and
Me
I
too.
won't do that. But I have two questions that I ask everybody.
Sure.
So, first question is, what was one of your biggest challenges that you faced along the way?
Wasn't that interesting? We just talked about probably my biggest challenge. But let's say, since, gosh, I've had so many, right, that I've had to overcome. But even in the healing journey, I was introduced to my shaman path by a woman who betrayed me.
Oh,
And I really it was very hard for me to start trusting women again, and it was devastating to me. And her side of the story is probably different,
yeah,
right? She sees it from her perspective. I see it from my perspective. And so I now bless her and thank her. And she was my greatest teacher and boundaries and how not to give my power away. And really that is what she showed me was where I was still the victim in my life even though I had come so far, even though I had done so much. And I was in the Amazon jungle with her, and I looked at her and I saw her for the first time clearly. And I
mhm.
said, You and me and this right here, it's over.
Wow.
Thank you. I'm over. So if you're out there and you're like, I keep getting stuck in the same story. I keep becoming the victim of my own circumstance. I keep repeating the same mistake, expecting different results. You can choose. You can say, that's it. I'm done and walk away and say no more. It is fully up to you, your life and your path and your consciousness and to be able to shift that consciousness, touch your
Yeah.
ear, change your story. Wayne Dyer always said, change your story, change your life.
It's so true. And isn't it? I love that you brought that up that our biggest challenges are our greatest teachers towards healing because
Yeah.
that's what I think of in terms of my challenges. So I love that.
I mean, I could still sit and blame her, right? Oh, but you did this
Absolutely.
and you said that and blah 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 and I hate you and I this. What good is that going to do me? How does that serve me?
Yeah. I have people say to me all the time, I'm so sorry for what happened to you. I'm so sorry for what happened to you. And yes, what happened, my child abuse was horrible. And it taught me who I really am. I don't think anybody should go through it. And I learned who I was because of what I went through.
Exactly. And I don't know what your belief is in past lives, but how I've made peace with the rapes and all the trauma and the poor dead husband who had to keep me alive to let me get here because I could have died along the way. I say, God only knows what I did to them in a past life.
Right? Yes.
God only knows. I forgive myself for
Yep.
whatever shit I did to have to come back into this life and relive the trauma. And thank you for keeping me alive. And thank you
Yes.
for being my biggest teachers. And now I create that bubble of light around me where, and I can feel you when you're coming. I still trust and I'm still naive and I still love everybody's inner child, but I feel it now more than ever. Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Oh,
Not a good person for you. No, 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 no.
you learn to create those boundaries when you process through those challenges and change your mindset, like we've been talking
Exactly.
about.
Exactly.
Okay, so next question is if we could sit down in 12 months and talk, where would you want to be that you're not now?
12 months.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm in such a good place. I love my husband. I love my life. Um, where am I now? I've been writing these children's stories.
Ah,
I would love to see them published. So if I could say, where would I want to be 12 months from now? I would want this painting retreat that I'm going on to blossom into something that I continue to work with paints because that's always been my biggest. I can memorize scripts, stand on stage, do public speaking, uh, do all kinds of different things. But when it comes to art, that's been my biggest fear. So for me, leaving tomorrow and flying off to Italy to do this with a bunch of women I don't know. And that doesn't scare me because I take people everywhere, but I meet new people all the time and I love new people. But putting my, I don't know, putting my soul or my heart or my vibration into a canvas, I don't know what's going to come out. So I think that that's that. Like I would like to continue painting and I would like to have all three of those stories published.
that's beautiful. I love that. I can't wait to see them because I'm sure it's going to happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. Isabella, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's been great.
It's been amazing. Everybody out there, thank you for joining us. And if you're at all curious about maybe would a shaman help you, check out Isabella's website. We'll drop the links to connect with her in the show notes. Go connect with her, follow her. She's amazing. For those of you that aren't watching her, she has this lovely energy about her.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's
So,
been a pleasure and best of luck to you with your healing. It doesn't have to be heavy show and getting the word out there. Please share,
yes,
let people know about this great podcast because I had a lot of fun talking to you and I can see all your gifts shining through.
thank you. Oh, thank you. And for anybody listening, if you're feeling kind of some emotional itchiness, aren't really sure how to maybe start to shift your mindset, it's really uncomfortable, a lot of resistance is coming up for you. I'm also dropping in the show notes a free, short, less than 5 minute movement sequence you can do that'll clear all that energy out, allow
Beautiful.
you to be able to step back, look at things from a more objective perspective, like we've been talking about, and hopefully start to find a way to shift that mindset. So go grab that free 5 minute movement sequence. And until next time, thanks,
Hey,
Isabella. Bye,
Angie.
everybody.
Take care.